It's the NFL on CBS, Week 13 of the regular season, and a matchup from the AFC West. San Diego still looking for its first win. It'll take on the Chiefs coming up next. With you from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California, the Chiefs and the Chargers. Kansas City trying to keep its slim playoff hopes alive. Chargers just trying to get a win. And Warren Moon, the future Hall of Famer, will get the start for the Kansas City Chiefs. Injured index finger on the right hand of Elvis Grbac, the normal starter, and Moon will get his first start in a Chiefs uniform.
And I spoke with Warren out on the field before the game, and I said, Warren, are you nervous? He said, not nervous, Mark, but the butterflies are starting to mount up.
He told us last night there was that feeling of being anxious because he just hasn't been into that rhythm for 2 years. His last start came as a Seattle Seahawk 2 years ago. Chiefs have won the toss. Kansas City to receive it off the Carney kick. And it's Mike Cloud from the 7. Cloud trying to cut it back, and he's brought down shy of the 20-yard line. Scott Turner on special teams after the 11-yard return.
Brought down by Scott Turner.
And Warren Moon, 6-2 in his career against San Diego. How effective can he be? He turned 44 just 8 days ago.
Fine, for Warren Moon, it's got to be like riding a bicycle. He's done this so many times, even though it's been 2 years. He had played this season earlier in the season, and he was 3 for 3 with a touchdown. So he knows exactly what he's doing. He feels comfortable in this game plan, and he got his snaps. And he said he needs the reps. He got his reps this week in practice.
Leading active passer in the NFL. 1st and 10 from the 18, and he'll throw it on first down. Tony Richardson with a big gainer, releasing out of the backfield and taking it to the sideline. That's a first down for Kansas City as he picks up 17. The offensive line for Kansas City so important today because Moon certainly doesn't have the footwork that he once had. Tate, Blackshear, Grunhard, Shields, and Riley across that front line. Backs and receivers, Gunther Cunningham telling us last night, Kimball Anders will get more carries than he has seen in recent games. Morris had a breakout game against the Chargers earlier this year. Alexander having a big season, and of course Tony Gonzalez right now the best tight end in the game. Cunningham's team in dire need of a win. On the handoff, Kimball Anders, and nowhere to go. Al Fontenot, first man there, and it's no gain on first down. San Diego defense in the 4-3 set. Mickle, Perella, Williams, and Fontenot. Linebackers, Junior Seau with Orlando Ruff and Gerald Dixon. Frustration has set in with this team, but Seau told us this club will not quit. Secondary, some question marks about Rodney Harrison's health, but he's in there. Harrison has been nursing a hamstring injury. On a 2nd and 10, it'll be a double tight end set. Anders by himself in the backfield. Line of scrimmage just shy of the 35. San Diego will drop back into coverage. Moon able to dump it off. Here's Kimball Anders trying to create after the catch. And he's forced to the sideline as he crosses the 40-yard line. Fakir Brown was the man that forced him down. And it's a pickup of 7. Mike Riley, in his 2nd year as the head coach of this San Diego team, 8-8 last year. This team showed some promise, but last year seems like a distant memory now.
And it does for this team, and I spoke with Mike Riley on the field before the game, and I asked him point blank, how you handle it, Coach. He says, just handle it like anything normal. We're taking 1 week at a time. Our guys have not given up, and we've been in a lot of our games.
A 3-receiver set, and Gonzalez sets up as a receiver. And they'll hand it off. It fooled nobody. Tony Richardson is stacked up at the line. San Diego is ready defensively. And the Chiefs go with a conservative call on 3rd down. Gerald Dixon leading the charge.
The San Diego Chargers have been great on run defense the entire year. Here's Gerald Dixon. He will hit the hole with a full head of speed. One-on-one. What happens is San Diego up front, John Perella, Jamal Williams, they do a great job of tying up the interior 3 of the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs, allowing their linebackers to run free.
San Diego's defense has limited opponents to less than 100 yards rushing in 6 consecutive games. That's quite an effort for a team that is 0-11, but teams have been throwing on them and throwing on them effectively. Tuts Auerbrunn able to boot it away. Nate Jacquet waiting. Got some room from the 11, cutting it back, trying to circle. And he gets to the 20-yard line on a 9-yard return. Lou Bush, the former Charger, making the tackle on special teams, a 48-yard punt. So we'll see San Diego's offense for the first time in a developing story with Ryan Leaf coming off his best game as a pro quarterback. 13 of 27 last week, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Chargers, though, came up short in a heartbreaking 38-37 loss to the Denver Broncos. They blew a 17-point fourth-quarter lead. On first down, Terrell Fletcher getting the start at tailback. Play action. Leaf will throw it on first down. Forced out of the pocket, running, and slides down after a modest gain of 2. Ryan Leaf will remain this team's starter for the final 5 games, barring any injury. Mike Riley and the rest of the franchise wants to see what he can do now that he's given an opportunity. Offense for the Chargers: Coleman, Roundtree, Fortin, Gogan, and Parker on that offensive line. Backs and receivers, as mentioned, Fletcher gets the nod today over Jermaine Fazan, but Fazan will see action. McCrary, the fullback. Conway and Graham, dangerous wide receivers for Leaf to work with. On the give, Fletcher didn't have much room to work with and picks up another 2 yards. Marcus Patton in on the stop. The line of scrimmage short of the 25. Kansas City defense, and they have not been themselves of late. They have not forced a turnover in 3 straight games. Uncharacteristic. Clemens, Williams, McLaughlin, Browning getting the start for Hicks, who will see action. Donnie Edwards, a San Diego native, along with Patton. Mike Mislowski, the other linebacker. Hasty, Woods, Wesley, and Warfield in the secondary. Eric Warfield returning to his starting spot, replacing the rookie Pat Dennis. On 3rd and 6, Leaf knocked down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, and San Diego will punt it on their first possession. Dwayne Clemens getting a piece of it.
And for Dwayne Clemens, all he does is take 3 or 4 steps upfield. He avoids the block of Fletcher, puts his hands in the field, and bats the ball down. If a defensive lineman cannot get to the quarterback, they're taught to get those paws up in the air and disrupt the quarterback's vision.
So Darren Bennett will punt it, averaging 47 yards per punt. Kevin Lockett is the return man. Lockett backpedals. What a boot by Bennett. Here's Lockett from the 16. Cutting it to the outside, looking for a lane, and Lockett gets across the 40. Solid return, 24 yards after the 59-yard punt from Bennett, in good field position for Kansas City. Right now, let's head to New York, get an NFL Today update. Jim Nance.
And it looks like the Bills' 4-game winning streak is over. The Bucs ice it right here. Warwick Dunn, 39-yard burst, second touchdown of the day, 31-17, minute 45 to go. If the Bills lose, they'll drop to 7-5. Back to Ian and Mark.
And so damaging in the AFC East, the way things are stacking up in that division. Again, the most competitive division in football.
And it's going to be the final week, the final game, to find out who's going to win the AFC week. So competitive, AFC East, so competitive in that division.
Just underway here from San Diego. Iron Eagle Mark May, Kansas City, and the Chargers. Flags down on first down, and this play never happens. Warren Moon was dropping back to throw it. That's pretty amazing to see the transformation.
66 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Bernie Kukar informs us that Victor Riley in on the penalty. The transformation of this offense, when you thought of Kansas City football, you thought of run first, pass if you have to.
Not
more.
Anymore. Yeah, and it started the first time that they played San Diego. Elvis Grbac came in, threw 5 touchdown passes. They lit up the board in that game. And Sylvester Morris, the rookie, had 3 touchdown receptions in that game. And the rushing has absolutely gone down for this football team, but the passing yardage has climbed up.
Well, they'll face a 1st and 15 now from the 37. Moon looking to throw it. Guns to the flat, brought in by Richardson, and then angles out of bounds as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage, or just about. He picks up 4. Gerald Dixon was able to get to the sideline. There is no featured back in this offense, and that's one of the reasons why they haven't been able to develop the running game. Sometimes it's Richardson, sometimes it's Anders. Cloud was given an opportunity. Earlier in the year, the rookie Frank Moreau.
But the only steady in this offensive running game has been Tony Richardson the entire season. He's been there to block, he's been there to receive, he's been there to run the ball. And even though at the running back position they've mixed and matched, he's been the constant steady in the backfield.
Warren Moon still does not have an incomplete pass on the year, and that streak will continue. Derek Alexander takes a hit and holds on to the football. Michael Dumas, the hard-hitting free safety, came in to give him a lick.
Warren Moon's like a fine wine. And I said it was like just riding a bicycle. Well, it is. And you'd think Warren Moon would go deep with the ball. That's what he would like to do. But he's going to take what the defense gives him. He's a smart quarterback. Obviously, he's been around forever. And the key to this, he's getting the defense to respect the short pass and step up. And he's going to take a shot at Rodney Harrison, the strong safety. Has a bad hamstring. Only 6 snaps last week.
Also got a lot of reps this week because of the injury to Grbac during practice, so he was able to build a rhythm that he hasn't felt ever since he put on a Chief uniform. On a 3rd and 5, here's Moon with a deep drop. Moon throw it. Caught by Morris. Turns it upfield for the first down. into San Diego territory and forced down at the 43-yard line. That's a 10-yard hookup. Moon to Morris.
Now, it starts with protection up front. When we spoke with Gunther Cunningham, he told us point blank, the guys up front have to do a better job than they've been doing. Warren Moon gets the protection. He's able to look left. Now he reads the defense off. He dumps it off to the rookie, Sylvester Morris, and he went to the player that I thought that they would try to attack in Rodney Harrison, the strong safety.
Well, you mentioned Morris had the 3 touchdown catches in the first game, then became part of the starting lineup after that, after Kansas City blew out San Diego earlier this year at Arrowhead. And Warren Moon now 5 for 5. He came in 3 for 3. He is perfect so far on this regular season. Here's Moon in the pocket again. On a dump off, Kimball Anders able to turn it upfield for a short gain of 4. On the swing pass, Darrell Lewis with the tackle.
And for Warren Moon in the offense, it seems almost effortless. He sits back in the pocket, dumps the ball off left, dumps it right. He's just picking apart the San Diego defense. Not huge gains, but if on first down, a dump off like that, that's as good as a run of 4 or 5 yards on first down.
He's the oldest player in the NFL, along with Eddie Murray, who's a kicker for the Washington Redskins. So if you even want to compare the 2 positions, I know a guy like you wouldn't.
And for Warren Moon, can you believe this? If he plays next year, he can leave the game of football, go into early retirement, and collect his pension at 45.
He's talked about retirement next year, but you never know if things work out here. And Moon's first incomplete pass, he was looking for Gonzalez in double coverage. Warren Moon, his first start with the Edmonton Eskimos in the CFL. Oh, man.
If you eliminate those 2 players, those 3 players, especially he's got more experience than the rest of the football team offensively, and that's amazing for Warren Moon. And just to have what he has, the presence when he comes into the huddle. We talked to Tony Richardson, and he just said, eyes get big. You know, when Warren's in the huddle, it's different because basically you're playing with a Hall of Famer, a guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame down the road.
On a 3rd and 6. Here's Moon. Blitz on. Moon in some trouble. Spins out and brought down. Harrison came firing in, and he comes up limping. It's a loss of 9 on the safety blitz from Rodney Harrison.
And Warren Moon doesn't even see it. He never looks to his left. The blitz comes from his blind side. He never sees a safety on the line of scrimmage, and that's uncharacteristic of Warren Moon. But he avoids the first rush, and then he comes back the second time. He should throw the ball away. Here comes the blitz from this side. He doesn't see it. It's his blind side. Now get rid of the ball. He doesn't. Rodney Harrison stays with it. That's why he comes up with this sack.
5th sack of the year for Harrison, and maybe the younger Moon does get rid of it after that initial hit from Harrison. Sauerbrunn with a punt. Jacquet moves forward, fair catch signal, and brings it in. No, he doesn't. Loses the football at the 21. Is Jacquet claiming he was interfered with? It won't matter. The referees say Kansas City football. Larry Atkins on the recovery.
And the sun is awful bright out there, and Nate Jacquet has to look at this ball, and he has a chance right there. He's looking to his right, not looking at the ball. He took his eyes off the ball. That's why he bobbled it and fumbled it away.
Now, Greg Wesley was in his vicinity.
Very close to him. He was within a foot.
And Jacquet unable to handle it. Fans are getting a look at it on the big screen here at Qualcomm. Kansas City is rushing to the line of scrimmage. And they're not going to get a playoff. San Diego coaching staff may want the officials to take a look at this. And Bernie Kukar, the veteran referee, may have a discussion now with his fellow officials. Was Wesley too close to Jacquet?
I believe he was. He was within a foot. But I think the discussion now, I don't know if that's reviewable, Ryan. I think that's the discussion on the sidelines at this point.
The ball hit Kansas City first.
Oh, wait a second.
Now, that didn't happen. Now, that's not the challenge which they're supposedly challenged. That's why I said it wasn't a challenge. The ball hit the San Diego player first. Watch the ball. Hits the San Diego player first.
Yeah.
Now, that they can challenge, but the other one they could not challenge.
Well, now you're just going to blow a timeout. And he backed up enough. There may have been a foot in between the two, if maybe even less.
But I think if you're Mike Riley, you've got to try just about everything. That's why there was a discussion before they even decided to challenge on the sidelines. It's like, well, what can we do here?
Oh,
It's not even close.
Well, the bottom line is you got to bring in the football. Yeah, the stun is out. Whether Jacquet was in some trouble because of the stun or because Wesley was too close to him is irrelevant right now.
Absolutely right. If you're a professional football player, he's done this 5,000 times in practice and in games. You concentrate on the ball first. You're oblivious to whatever's around you. You don't worry about that. You worry about getting the ball in your hands.
Especially once the fair catch signal is made. Your only job at that point is to hold on to the football. And Jacquet was unable to do so. This is an open and shut case for Bernie Kukar. It's not even close.
It's very bright down there on the field. I was down there early. I couldn't believe how warm it is. Usually this time in San Diego, it's 65, maybe 68 degrees. In the sun, it's about 90 today. It's incredible. That's how bright it is. And if you're trying to receive a football in that sun,
Bernie Kukar continues to look at it. Unless he's seeing something that we're not seeing. Not sure why it would take up as much time as it is. Nate Jacquet fumbling the football on a fair catch attempt. And Kansas City
After reviewing the play stands and called. It is a fumble. First down, Kansas City.
Well, great field position now. Line of scrimmage will be the 24. San Diego loses a timeout at the 7:10 mark of the first quarter.
Now, when we spoke with Gunther Cunningham last night, one of the areas he said that he wanted to improve on, that he put a little more emphasis in this week, were special teams. He wanted to get back to playing the hard, tough-nosed special teams that Kansas City's been known for.
First and 10 for Moon at the 24. Moon, good protection. Puts it up in the air and too high. Derek Alexander, the intended receiver. Fakir Brown was able to get his fingertips on it. It's incomplete.
And for Warren Moon, he told us that he has to adjust to the offensive players in this offense. They don't have to adjust to him. And this ball is just thrown in the wrong spot, obviously. It's behind the receiver, not on the mark where the receiver is, and the timing they have to get down. Even though he's only had 1 week with the receivers in the first bunch, it's taken him a while to get that down. But he has to adjust to their routes. They're used to running certain routes in certain plays, and they're used to having the ball in certain areas. So Warren Moon is going to pull it back a little bit and adjusting to catch up to the offense.
As mentioned, turnovers continuing to cost the San Diego team. Worst in the NFL in terms of ratio. On 2nd and 10, here's Moon. Spirals it to the end zone. Incomplete. Again, Alexander in a matchup with Brown. And Moon has been unable to cash in on that combination.
And the offense has changed about 2 gears. Early in the game when Warren Moon started off the game, he was hot. He couldn't miss a pass. Now he can't seem to make a pass. The timing was there, the quick dump-offs. Now, for some reason, when he's throwing the ball vertically down the field, he's not as accurate with his short pass, with his long passes as he was with his short passes.
Play selection so far, 2 running plays, 10 passes. Wow. Gunther Cunningham talked about trying to balance out this offense, but they keep going to what they feel is their bread and butter. And that's throwing the football. On a 3rd and 10, Moon in the pocket. Flushed out. Moon looking to run. Flag down as Moon goes down short of the 20. He picks up 2 yards. Junior Seau in on the stop. But a penalty marker on the field.
Holding, number 66 offense. Holding, 66 offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now, for Warren Moon, scrambling out of the pocket, he still has wheels to get back to the line of scrimmage and grab a few yards, but he doesn't have the speed to go downfield. There's no way he's going to outrun a Junior Seau. Here he does an outstanding job of stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the rush, and heading downfield and picking up positive yards for the offense, but Junior Seau just has the angle on it, has too much speed, catches from behind.
A 40-yard field goal attempt for Todd Peterson, who has been inconsistent since taking over for Pete Stoyanovich. 6 of 10. A long of only 37. This would be his longest field goal of the season. A 40-yarder. Peterson puts it through. And Kansas City takes a 3-0 lead. Points off of turnovers. Kansas City gets 3 of them. And Nate Jacquet leading to the Kansas City field goal. 6:34 now left in the first quarter.
Now, I believe that San Diego dodged a bullet in that instance. Their defense really stepped up to the plate off the turnover. Kansas City had the momentum. They shut them down defensively, didn't let Kansas City move the ball, held them to 3 points on that series. And I think it's a great job that San Diego can build on at this point. You know, they're really relying on their defense this year. They haven't been spectacular. They don't have a lot of depth, have a lot of injuries on defense. It's the offense that's really let them down. They don't run the ball, so the defense is on the field most of the day. They're the worst rushing football team in the National Football League.
Pass defense last week, though, was terrible for San Diego. Allowed 462 yards and 5 touchdowns to Gus Frerotte last week. They played a heck of a game leading up to that fourth quarter, but another blown lead in the fourth. They've had 6 of them so far this year in an 0-11 season for Mike Riley's Chargers. I want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Buffalo-Tampa Bay game with the Buccaneers getting a much-needed win. Kansas City now leading San Diego 3-0 here in the first quarter at Qualcomm Stadium in beautiful California. Warren Moon getting his first start as the Chief for the injured Elvis Grbac. And the Chiefs capitalizing off of a San Diego turnover. Ian Eagle along with Mark May. Ronnie Jenkins on a return as he crosses the 30-yard line. And he's tackled by Eric Warfield on special teams. A 27-yard return. Happy holidays, everybody. Kansas City leads the Chargers 3-0.
Log on now for Southwest Airlines $99 or less internet specials, only at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
They're calling you. The places you want to be. The things you want to do. But you're not going to get there until you finish this stuff. That's why there's True Value. We get you in and out fast. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
And right now, come in for one of True Value's 12 gifts of Christmas. A folding sports armchair with carrying case is just $12.99. True Value. Help is just around the corner.
It has the DNA of giants in its sheet metal. Cars that raced on fields of honor. It has motor oil for blood and a 250 horsepower heart. Because 50 years ago, like today, there were just 2 kinds of cars on the road. Those that pass and those that get past. Chrysler 300M, the most powerful V6 sports sedan in its class. Now, during the Chrysler holiday sale, lease the 300M for $399 a month.
What happens this evening in Florida could determine who the next president will be. So this is 160 Minutes you don't want to miss. 60 Minutes, tonight.
3-0 Chiefs leading the Chargers. 6:24 left in the first quarter. Want to remind all of you that with the developments in the presidential race, we will keep you updated here on CBS. CBS News is standing by with any updates later on today, so keep it right here on CBS. Ryan Leaf, second possession now for the Chargers, and a 1st and 10 from the 32. Leaf, play fake on a rollout. He hits McCrary. And McCrary off to the sideline for a gain of 9. Marcus Patton rode him out of bounds.
For Ryan Leaf in this offense, they want to do what's comfortable for Ryan Leaf. He's got a 5-game audition coming up. And the way that he's been playing the last few weeks, particularly last week, that was his career game. He had a great game. And when I talked to Mike Riley, he said he was able to call audibles. That was key. When he got up to the line of scrimmage, he made the right decisions. And the biggest thing, he read the blitz and hit big plays offensively.
And Leaf is not downplaying this 5-game stretch. He knows how important it is if he wants to stay in a Charger uniform. On a pitch, Fletcher has a 1st down and then some. Fletcher forced to the sideline. McCrary with a good block up front and a 10-yard gain. New set of downs for San Diego.
Keep an eye on number 66, Kevin Gogan, right here. He's listed at 325. He's not 325. He's about 370. But I want you to watch the big guy get out and motor. They're going to down block. He's going to go out and clear out, put a block right on the edge of Donnie Edwards, and clear the way. And when you get a big guy like that out there in the flat, you got to stay behind him. As soon as he makes the block, make the cut, pick up positive yardage. Smart decision.
Fletcher taking it to the Kansas City 49 and a 1st down for the Chargers. Leaf straight back. Leaf looks, Long ball thrown down the sideline and out of bounds. He was looking for Jeff Graham, and a flag on the play. Eric Warfield had the coverage one-on-one. Warfield regaining his starting job. He's had some back problems throughout the year.
Pass interference, 44 defense. First down.
Well, welcome back to the starting lineup, Eric.
Now, what they did on the outside is they threw a double move on Eric Warfield. He went for the fake on the outside. You've got to respect the speed of Jeff Graham. Right here, goes for the first move, boom, turn around, go for the second one. Well, he went for the first move, put his hands on him down the field of play, and that's why he's called for the pass interference.
A beautiful stop and go, and it costs Kansas City's defense 19 yards on the penalty. McCrary will set up as a receiver, normally the fullback. So Fletcher is by himself in the backfield. Just over 5 minutes left now in the first. On first down, bootleg, Leaf under some heat and forced to throw it away. Dan Williams was applying that pressure in the pocket.
Now, in looking at that play, it doesn't seem like much. But that's the growth that Ryan Leaf has made. If you go back a few games, go back to his rookie year, that's a pass he tried to force downfield and rely on his arm strength. Now he's smart enough that he's grown to throw the ball away and live for another play.
Had the 3 touchdown passes last week. Why was that his best game as a pro? Well, he had 4 total touchdowns heading into that game. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Play fake. Leap. Thrown out to the flat. McCrary accelerating for the first down. Fred McCrary has not been a big part of this passing game this season, but he's gotten involved early. John Browning making the stop.
And the key to this play is Ryan Leaf. He looks to the middle of the field. He gets the defense to settle down. Then he turns right out to a safety valve in Fred McCrary. And this is the part of Ryan Leaf, the progression. I like it. It's only been 2 plays that we've seen in the last 2 plays, but he's not making the mistakes, particularly the fundamental mistakes. If he's getting pressured, he rolls out. He makes things happen. Get rid of the ball.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is his 16th career NFL game. That's 1 season. He's in his 3rd year. Here's Leaf. Pump fake. Steps up. Leaf flings it to the sideline, to the end zone. Caught by Jones. Touchdown, San Diego. Leaf took a shot from John Browning, but had the presence to deliver the football. And San Diego takes the lead.
For Ryan Leaf, steps up in the pocket, sits back, looks at the defense, the arm fake, and he hangs in the pocket. That's what I like about it. He hangs in there, he knows he's going to take a hit, and he throws the ball to his big tight end, Freddie Jones. Smart quarterback play. He knows he's going to get hit, but he waits to the last second to get rid of the ball, wait for his big tight end to beat Greg Wesley, get behind him, drop the ball in there. Great throw, great catch.
Extra point, Carney. 4th touchdown of the season for Freddie Jones. 6th touchdown for Leaf. It's 7-3 Chargers. San Diego looking for its first win of the season at 0-11.
Check it out.
The next generation Chrysler Town and Country.
You do that?
I saw you did. Let's get out of here.
With power sliding doors and liftgate with an obstacle detection system, Chrysler Town and Country is the best minivan ever. During the Chrysler Holiday Sale, get 4.9 financing on Town and Country LX or low lease rates.
They stand at the top of the mountain. 2 unbeaten champions on a collision course with destiny. He's the WBA champion, and he strikes like lightning. He's the IBF champion. His knockout punch is like a hurricane. Forces of destruction. Don't miss the title unification bout between Felix Trinidad and Fernando Vargas. Brought to you by Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers.
Right now at Sears means lowest tire prices of the year on selected Michelin, Goodyear, Pirelli, and more. So don't forget to give your wheels something nice at the most important time of the year. Sears, give the good life at a great price, guaranteed.
From Amazon.com to Yahoo, from Cisco to Sun, companies that know the Internet best run Oracle. Oracle. Software powers the Internet.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. iOmega, makers of the new Hip Zip photo show and the award-winning line of Zip products. And by Chrysler, we're reinventing the passion for driving.
A 5-play, 68-yard drive. Time of possession, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 20-yard touchdown leap to Jones. Everybody talking about the season Gonzalez is having for Kansas City. It's been a great one. I tell you, Freddie Jones having a Pro Bowl-type campaign as well. On the kickoff, out of bounds.
Kickoff out of bounds. The ball will be placed 30 yards from the kickoff spot. First down.
Freddie Jones quietly having the best season of his young career as a tight end for the Chargers. Pretty good field position for Kansas City after the errant kickoff.
This is Corey. Corey's MP3 player uses $100 memory cards. He can only afford one. Oh, heck. Corey's out of music again. Stupid move, Corey. This is Mac. His newfangled Hip Zip digital audio player holds a whole CD on each pocket zip disc for as little as $10. Mac is a genius. Hip Zip, Pocket Zip. Zip it.
Its ancestors knew the grit of the sand at Daytona, where a mile measured the length of your nerve. It is not meek. It is not humble. It is what happens when you take the soul of the past and meld it with the best of the new. Chrysler 300M, the most powerful V6 sports sedan in its class. Now, during the Chrysler holiday sale, lease the 300M for $399 a month.
That Snowbot is a great way to tell customers Staples has technology gifts.
Greetings. Handhelds make terrific gifts. So do digital cameras.
Nice price.
Excuse me, could you tell me about the Scannerfax copier?
No.
But I want to get it for my brother.
Get him a cell phone.
No, he really wants one of these.
He can't have her. I love her.
What?
No. Weeping.
It's okay. You found just someone else.
Oh.
For technology gifts they really want, it's Staples.
Kentucky heads into Tar Heel territory to face Joe Forte and North Carolina as two of the nation's top teams jumpstart NCAA basketball on CBS.
I'll be telling you which teams are headed uptown and which teams are headed downtown.
I'll tell you why he's wrong.
The great views you're seeing of the play on the field today being brought to us by Monster.com's Blimp Skeeter. Monster.com operates 2 blimps in the United States. This blimp is 130 feet long, 40 feet tall, and when empty, weighs over 2,700 pounds. You can read more details about Monster.com's blimps on their website. Ryan Leaf, impressive so far in the first quarter. Now Kansas City takes over, a 1st and 10 from their own 40. Move, hesitates, and it costs it. Darren Mickle with the sack for San Diego.
And that's the rustiness of a Warren Moon. He hasn't played in 2 years, hasn't started in 2 years, hasn't played that much in the last 2 years. But here's a smarter quarterback that would step up and get rid of it. A Warren Moon 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago goes with the play action fake. It's not there. Step up. You don't have all day. Get rid of it right now. Throw it away. He doesn't. That's what causes the sack.
It's a loss of 5. And Darren Mickle picks up his 2nd sack of the year. He's a former Chief. Anders sets up as a receiver to the outside. Long count for Moon on 2nd and 15. Blitz coming again, and Moon is forced to unload it. Tony Gonzalez, the intended receiver, on the slant. And the clock is stopped with 3:42 to go in the first.
He wanted to go to Tony Gonzalez, but he just didn't have time on this play. They're blitzing from the inside and on the outside. Gerald Dixon comes. He wants the quick break off to Tony Gonzalez. He didn't read the blitz. He kept going down the field to play. When the blitz is coming, Tony Gonzalez has to break that off. A quick slant, he goes down the field to play. That's what Warren Moon was trying to hit.
Elvis Gerback had his streak of 28 straight starts snapped today. He's listed as the 3rd quarterback, emergency quarterback. He was throwing the football on the sideline during practice on Friday, but Gunther Cunningham wasn't comfortable with it. That's why he decided to go with Moon. Moon is checking off the line. The crowd is getting into it. Play clock is winding down.
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
This is what the San Diego defense wanted to do to Warren Moon. Confuse him, disrupt him, knock him around. He hasn't seen a lot of defenses because he hasn't played a lot. And now, the Kansas City Chiefs offense, they have to regroup. Warren Moon's a veteran. He's been through this a million times. He's got to settle his team down.
Moon started today 6 of 6 throwing the football. He is 0 of 4 since. And now a 3rd and 20. 3 receiver set. Draw play. Tony Richardson breaks a tackle initially and is brought down shy of the 35 by the linebacker Gerald Dixon. It's a gain of 5, and Kansas City will punt it.
And with all the injuries the San Diego defense has had this season at the cornerback position, the interior linemen, they've always found a way to compete. Joe Pascal, their defensive coordinator, has always come up with schemes to put pressure on offenses. They've kept the scores close. Last week wasn't one of their banner weeks, but prior weeks they've always figured out a way to keep it close.
Mike Riley hoping Nate Jacquet could hold on to this one from Todd Sauerbrunn. That fumble led to Kansas City's lone points. 7-3 San Diego. High punt for Sauerbrunn. Jacquet ranging over. Tough catch to make. Go figure. He can't bring in the easier one from before. This one off balance. Able to haul it in. William Barty in on the stop after the 46-yard punt. Dangerous, dangerous play by Nate Jacquet. But San Diego will have the football when we come back.
Looking to save more and spend less this holiday season? With the Jeep Holiday Sale, you can do just that. Because now, when you buy a 2000 Grand Cherokee with low 0.9 financing, you can save up to $53.25 in finance charges. Or on a 2001 model, save up to $29.39 in finance charges with 4.9% financing. So take advantage of the Jeep Holiday Sale today for savings that let you spend more on a real holiday priority, yourself. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
What kind of a company are we? Like you, we sometimes wonder what might have been. What if we'd married sooner instead of later? Or bought that house? Think of the money we'd have made. Life is a series of decisions which often can't be taken back, which is why planning is important. Talk with us at First Union. We can't change the past, but we can sure help with the future.
It's heard laughter, tears, secrets. It knows the sound of concern, of joy, and of regret. It's heard about movies, books, school, and boyfriends. And at times, simply heard nothing at all. If only there were a place that made you feel the way you did at your kitchen table.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Circuit City. Circuit City, imagine that. And by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Just a picture-perfect day in Southern California. San Diego leading Kansas City 7-3. We are in the late stages now, first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 20. Ryan Leaf already has a 20-yard touchdown pass to his credit, trying to run out of trouble, and he's brought down from behind. The rush coming from Dan Williams. Well, no team has ever gone 0-16 in a season. NFL started the 16-game schedule back in 1978. The Buccaneers in 1976, an expansion team, 0-14. San Diego doesn't want any part of this particular graphic. They like to put an end to this today at 0-11, the longest losing streak in franchise history. They give Dan Williams the sack. It's a loss of a fraction of a yard. Handoff. Fletcher. It fooled the Kansas City defense, and Fletcher has some room. Cutting it upfield and crossing the 35-yard line. First down for the Chargers and a pickup of 18. Left side of that offensive line did a good job creating space.
Now, down the field of play, Curtis Conway throws a spectacular block, unleashing him into the secondary. Great blocking to the interior 3. Fletcher has the quickness and speed to hide between the big boys. But right here, you're going to see a block right there at the top of the screen by Conway on James Hasty that releases Fletcher into the defensive backfield. That's an outstanding play because it was blocked and executed by everyone on the offense.
Mike Riley was looking for a spark offensively at the running back position, and that's why Fletcher got the nod here over Jermaine Fazan. Fake the handoff. Leaf will throw it. Good protection. Wide open on the sideline. Curtis Conway. Make it Freddie Jones. Jones brings it in cleanly for a gain of 19.
And thus far in this game, this is what the San Diego Chargers envisioned out of Ryan Leaf. A leader in the huddle, moving the team offensively, holding onto the ball at the last second, and finding the open receiver in the offense. And he dumps the ball to Freddie Jones, the tight end, vertically down the field of play. He's always been a player that has the arm strength to throw downfield. They wanted a vertical game back in San Diego. That's the original reason why they drafted him.
Leafs numbers, they look good so far, leading 7-3. That's the most important number for San Diego. On the draw play up the middle. And Terrell Fletcher crosses the 40-yard line. He picks up about 3.5. With the clock winding down here in the first, Greg Wesley in on the tackle.
When I played with the Washington Redskins, we had John Riggins, a big bruiser, big 250-pounder. Well, San Diego Chargers, they have Robert Chancey, 250, Jermaine Fazan, 250 pounds. All of a sudden, you're bringing in Terrell Fletcher. It's like our Joe Washington that we had in the 80s. Small, can hide between a huge offensive lineman, a lot of speed between the tackles, can always break the big play, but keep the chains moving.
He's really been known as a third down back in his 6th year out of Wisconsin, a former second-round draft pick. Leaf tripped up, and flags come down as he was trying to make his way into the pocket.
The left side of the offensive line moved a little early. Ben Coleman, the left tackle.
That play was ugly from the start. Bernie Kukar.
Ball starts. 74 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It is the 4th-year pro, Raleigh Roundtree. Was mostly a backup last year, but with Aaron Taylor retiring, Roundtree was forced into starting duty on this offensive line. Could be the final play of the first quarter. On a 2nd and 12. Trevor Gaylor is in as the 3rd receiver for San Diego. Leaf short drop and a quick throw. Inside move made by Graham. And a first down for the Chargers as they continue to move the football. A 21-yard gain. Line of scrimmage will be the 23 when we come back. It's the end of the first. San Diego with a 7-3 lead over Kansas City. And we'll come back to Qualcomm Stadium right after this message.